Bonjour, Kinamagan and Erlen Adishnikas, and welcome to this production of the My Math Network. Today's episode, Chapter 5 Test Review. We'll begin by looking at some of the vocabulary, and we're going to highlight the questions in the remainder of the page that you used on the on the practice. So let's look at answers. The commutative property states that you can add numbers in any order. 3 plus 5 plus 2 is the same as 2 plus 5 plus 3. When you round a number, you find its estimate. The value given to a digit by its position in a number is its place value. To regroup, and for some reason they like to use rename as well, is to form into a new or restructured group or grouping. So like, remember borrowing, if you're an adult watching your kids group, where we take one from the next column to the left and bring it across. Then we have subtracting results and finding the difference. That's the answer to a subtraction problem, where a sum is the answer to an addition problem. Number 6, the identity property states that the sum of any number and 0 equals a number. This is the identity property of addition. The multiplication identity property is different. Number 7, the associative property states that the way in which numbers are grouped does not change the sum or product. And when you're looking at, is it associative, parentheses are your hint in a lot of cases. And number 8, when computing using actual numbers, you find an exact answer. And we had a lesson on whether we needed an exact answer or an estimate. All right, so you were expected to do some of the odds on this one. First, round of the place value indicated. And to do such, I recommend that you underline the spot, and it's hundredths, which is the second number. You look to the right. That 1 leaves the 8 alone, so it's 0.78. You can drop that 1 off. To the nearest tenth. So then add or subtract. So this becomes, I underline the 1. So this becomes 17.2 minus, that keeps it the same, minus 9.0. 8.2 is the answer. Over here, we just simply add. Remember that keep your decimal place lined up, and it's otherwise adding. And same on here, best thing you can do. When you have the opportunity to write this vertically, if you have, I tend to recommend, especially if you have the same number of place value digits in the place value or decimals, to put the bigger number on top. Yeah, and you get 24.83. Looking down here, number 17. Actually 16, because I assigned this. I want you to look at this anyway. To solve using the properties, first thing you do is to turn it into expanded form. 30 plus 7 plus 40 plus 8. Then you can regroup. I put my tens together, the 30 and the 40, and my ones, the 7 and 8. Now I associate property by adding the tens, which is 70. 7 and 8 is 15, and then I add and I get 85. Number 17 and 19, subtraction. Again, write 8.3 minus 4.7 below. 21. Jesse had 3 long jumps during the track meet of 17 feet, 18 feet, and 15 feet. Andrew had 3 long jumps during a track meet of 17 feet, 15 feet, and 18 feet. Overall, who had a greater total jump distance? Which addition property can you use? And it tells you that we need an exact answer, although it doesn't really ask, but we figured. 17, 18, and 15. 17, 15, and 18. Notice we have the same numbers. So we can use the commutative property, line them up in the same way and say, hey, these are the same. And on 23, Micah had $10.52 after he left the bookstore. If he bought a book for $6.39 and a magazine for $3.99, how much money did he have before he went into the bookstore? Add those three numbers together, and you get $20.90. With the test coming up in our next session, if you have any questions, it's important to reach out to me at mireland@sagchipschool.net. I will have a couple moments of taking questions before we administer the assessment. If you're taking the assessment independently, there will be a post on that one following this. I hope you all have a Mental Gishigad. Bamapi.